My name is Michael Trout. I'm out here in Florida. It is December 2nd and I'm doing permaculture. One of the great things about Florida is you can do permaculture all year round. Now, I have my own kind of take on permaculture. I call it permaculture 2.0 or design as you go permaculture. You know, the whole emphasis behind permaculture is design, design, design. Mine is observation, 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 design, observation, 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 design, observation, 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 design. The whole take that I take on permaculture, or my premise is this: is you cannot do a complete design, because the design as you develop it will influence your final design. So all you can do is take step by step by step. Now the first thing you want to design obviously is dealing with the soil. This is my own design for a compost heap, and this one's pretty much done, and I'm going to bury it and cover it, and I've got videos on that. And here's my second generation compost heap, and as you can see here, what I want to do is trap water. So I have a couple options. One is I could lay a concrete bed down here to trap water. What I'd rather do is lay a tarp that basically is going to trap the water. Now, why do I want to trap the water? Because humidity plays a very important part in decomposition. And as you can see here, this sand basically just has the water go all the way through it, and it traps a little bit of moisture, but for the most part, what I want to do is trap a lot more. So I'm putting this bed down here to basically create an area where water is going to form on that. Now, I've got lots and lots of material here that I'm going to put in there. I cut this down from the front. This was a tree, and there's lots of green here. And I also have the tree trunks there that are going to go in there too. Now, the other thing that I've noticed that I'm going to work on today is actually designing against the house here. Now, you're never supposed to kind of grow up against the house, so I'm actually not going to do that, but I'm going to actually have some more plastic. But as you'll notice here, there is a dip where all this water comes in. So what I want to do is basically create a design to take advantage of this overflow that's coming off. As you can see, I don't have a guttering system, and it's just overflowing in here. So what I'm going to do is actually build a hugel bed pretty deep down here with the edge here, and it's going to kind of go right here where the leaves are. So I'm going to build this very deep hugel bed, and then I'm going to fill it with a lot of organic material, and actually I'm going to put a liner down it the same way there in order to trap a lot of moisture again. So the whole idea is to basically have a low watering bed, which doesn't need a lot of water, but when it does water, it basically will fill the bed, and I'll design it in such a way that it's going to move and actually go into that compost heap there. That's the idea. So it's going to, you know, basically the water is going to come out of here and it's going to move in there, and I have options to move it around. Now, the way I came up with the design is lots and lots of observation and thinking and observation and thinking. And again, I'm not considering what I'm going to plant on it. I just know that I want beds that are going to retain water, because water is going to be crucial for what I grow on top of it. And all the beds I'm going to make are going to be raised beds. So, you know, so having that water supply underneath maintained and captured and held there is very important, you know, for your organics. You know, the other thing that I'm going to do is transform this entire forest. You can see I've already started clearing it out a little bit, not cutting down any trees, but just clearing undergrowth for trees. Today I walked around and I planted, basically I put out 100 grapes, well maybe not 100, at least 20 or 30 grape seeds. Just walking around, stick them in the ground. You know, every time I eat a grape I want a seed in there, because I'm going to plant the seed. If I don't plant the seed, you know, there's no chance of something growing. If I plant a seed, there's a chance. And I'm looking for seeds basically that are robust, that will take it, and I'll just keep planting seeds, and the ones that do well, that have the genetics, are going to thrive. The ones that won't. So I'm going to just basically, you know, keep putting down grape seeds until I have grapevines, and I kind of will recognize them as they come up, and putting them around these trees down here and other things. I completely cut down this dogwood, and it was just covering too much area, and that's where all those leaves came. And as you'll notice down here, what I did, I'm trying a new kind of bed. I basically just put all the leaves, raked all the leaves up around it. Then I dumped sand on top of it. Then I compacted the sand, and I put leaves. Then I went around the back, and I put the pine needles around the side. I put some ground cover over the seeds, slight ground cover on there. Now I just put a whole bunch of packs of herbs and stuff like that. I also walked around and I pressed in grape seeds. So that's it. That's pretty easy. I didn't have to pre-grow anything. I put it down. I know some seeds are going to take, some won't. Doesn't really matter. But this is going to be a nice little green area growing here, I imagine. I'm going to do the same thing right here too. So I'm going to put a bunch of, I'm going to cut this down too. This all needs to be cut down. All these things I cut down are going to go into actually building the side. This is actually kind of good material that's going up here for the side of the compost, raised compost. So my approach to permaculture is basically design as you go. You obviously have you have ideas, but you don't, the problem with, I think, with permaculture is you kind of like, okay, this is what the design is going to be, and you lock yourself in on it. It's kind of like method acting. My background is in acting, and there's method acting. Method acting is all about responding to the moment and to the information coming to you. And I approach permaculture in very much the same way, where I'm responding to the information coming to me instead of me making some pre-choices and everything else on what I'm going to do on it. Now, I'm just a novice at permaculture, don't get me wrong, but this is my approach to it, and I think we all need to develop our own little toolbox that makes us kind of comfortable with it. And my emphasis basically is on the preparation and preparing everything for the future. If you prepare everything right, then you'll have a lot more flexibility in the future in what you do with it. You know, there's only so much you can do with sandy soil, so I've got to change that sandy soil. So that's where my emphasis right now is with permaculture, is getting tons and tons of organics back into the soil, because I know that these organics are going to break down and create worm food and everything else, and the anaerobic or anaerobic bacteria and everything is going to interact with it and everything else, as long as there's moisture and everything else with it. So, hope you enjoyed this talk, and good luck with your permaculture. If you like this video, consider becoming a patron of Foundups. Foundups are like permaculture, aquaponics, hydroponics, anything that helps save our planet that we launch is a Foundup. Now, there's a little bit more to Foundups than that, because Foundups have a corporation, Foundup Corp. Anyone's invited to become a stakeholder or shareholder of the corporation by joining our crowdfunding campaign right now. The first 99 patrons are getting $1 a share that I'm issuing as a warrant offering. It's a contract saying if we go become a public company, then you're going to get these shares. It's kind of a way around the SEC thing, because until we're public, I don't issue any shares or anything else, and there's only, like, you know, it's a written agreement between you and me, and there's no physical transaction. The warrant offering happens when we become a public company, right? So consider supporting Foundups and learn more about Foundups by watching my videos and other things online. And I have over 1,000 videos on foundups.com, which are Patreon, our Patreon site. It's a never-ending crowdfunding campaign for helping to launch Foundups by establishing a Foundup fund like I have. So I hope you'll join me in establishing your own Foundup fund, participating in Foundups, and working together locally, funded globally, and launching projects like what I'm doing today here, which is this project is funded by my patrons. It's really cool. I've got people who are funded. If I need to buy something, everything else, I've got a Foundup fund that funds my activities. So consider supporting Foundups, and if you become and launch Foundups, I'll support your Foundup too in return. What I call give back. That's what we can do with Foundups. Thanks.